Let me see. Somebody drink it? Oh, he's on his first rollerblade. He's going pretty good. Not bad.
Daniel-san.
He's better than Andy. Arigato.
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 Thank you guys so much for the 50,000 subscribers on YouTube. 200,000 subscribers.
Just hitting 300,000 subscribers.
I've reached 500,000 subscribers. That's huge. Thanks, guys. Hey, everyone, round of applause. Good job, everybody.
I was born in San Diego, California, in a naval hospital, not breathing because my umbilical cord was wrapped around my neck. If you ask me, I was already coming out into the world swinging. Growing up, my mom was in the Navy, so we traveled a lot depending on where she was stationed. But the one place I remember the most is probably here in Okinawa, Japan. I lived there for part of my elementary days before eventually moving back to San Diego and then into Murrieta, California, where I grew up from middle school to the end of high school. High school wasn't that bad. I wasn't exactly popular, but I wasn't an outcast either. I mean, I mostly just goofed off with my friends half the time. I mean, I remember one time me and my friends decided to go behind a Burlington coat factory and did like this javelin thing with shopping carts. It was stupid. When I was younger, I had this huge fascination in creating stories. At first, I wanted to create cartoons, and so I started making small comics for myself and practiced drawing for a bit, and I even thought of going into becoming a novelist. But being a kid, most of my time consisted of playing video games and battling my friends in Pokemon and Yu-Gi-Oh! It wasn't until I turned 15 when I found a VHS copy of the movie The Evil Dead, and it changed my life forever.
It's a 7.
I don't believe it!
Of spades. Queen of spades. 4 of hearts. 8 of spades. 2 of spades. Jack of diamonds. Jack of clubs.
I watched it in amazement, seeing all the special effects, the grittiness, the feel of being something so homemade but so well done. I was immediately hooked on films. To this date, it's still my favorite movie of all time, along with American Movie and the original Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles film in 1990, just because of nostalgia reasons.
Hey! Wait for me! Whoop! Oh, God, I love being a turtle!
Now granted, this was in the early 2000s, so videos were shot on these mini DV cameras, and they were pretty expensive at the time, and computers weren't exactly cheap. But one day, my mom decided to purchase a Toshiba laptop. In fact, it's this one right here. It was extremely bulky and huge, but it was something I could make movies on, so I went straight into it. The first video I ever made was for a book report on the book Falling Star Hill, where I just sat in front of a camera and acted out the video voicing over toys. Needless to say, it was extremely bad, and I even streamed myself watching it, and just couldn't keep a straight face the whole time. It was terrible.
A portal, and now he's inside this dimension that he can't get out of. He's trying to get home, and we have Summer as a chanter, or a beginner chanter, who's trying to find out her magical powers, and we have Hunter as their guardian, so then he could help them out.
Even so, it was definitely a step in the right direction for me. I showed it to the class and people loved it, God bless, and from then on, I just wanted to make movies. At first, it was difficult because I couldn't find anyone who wanted to make them with me, but that was fine because at the time, YouTube was starting to get its footing as a website. It was a complete start for people like Smosh, Shane Dawson, and Freddie W. I was astonished at how you could just make a video by yourself and people would watch it, so that's exactly what I did. And thank God for the internet, it was amazing how much you could learn from it. I followed channels like Indie Mogul, Film Riot, Video Copilot from the beginning to try and learn as much as I could about films, AVGN being a huge influence with how much he knew about movies and film theory. But my friends at the time didn't care much for making videos, so I didn't have a lot to work with. It was just a pipe dream, myself, and a camera. So I started making these videos called 30-second vlogs, where I would try to fit in as much as I wanted to say in 30 seconds. If I did that now, the algorithm would kick my ass and I'd be out of a job. But at the time, it was fun to do. All I did was just talk into a camera about my day or anything that was on my mind, edit it down to 30 seconds, and just upload it onto the internet. The first video that caught anyone's attention was a vlog about Twilight. It was a huge rush of adrenaline seeing it become such a big hit, and from then on, I was hooked on making videos for the internet. I had no idea how the website worked or what the fuck I was doing. All I knew was that I didn't want to stop at all, and so I kept going. Book reports at school were a blessing for me since I could usually just make a video for it, and that's when I created my Romeo and Juliet video. Again, a complete mess, but people found it extremely hilarious. My entire class loved it and it spread like fire at my school. It was a fun project, but I wanted to make something better, and my friends didn't really have the same enthusiasm I had for making any videos. For me, it was one of the greatest feelings of my life, editing the film and putting the whole thing together. I wanted to make movies for the rest of my life. More than that, I wanted to make a full-length feature film. That's the dream, to create a full-length film that I can be proud of and that people will enjoy from the bottom of their hearts. So I pursued it as much as I could.
Okay, I'll be good. Forgive me.
How about instead of coal, I give you lead?
I took as many classes as I could find to learn about filmmaking. I even took a film studies class in high school, and it introduced me to a whole new world of ideas. Watching and studying films like Clockwork Orange, Cool Hand Luke, Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind, and The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. I took those films and it drove me to make bigger and better things. So then I created a sort of film sketch group called Muffins Are Sex. You know, a really, really dumb name. And we even made a stupid little title card for it. It was a group of 4 of my friends that liked movies just as much as I did, and we made some small comedy skits together since we all liked watching Derek comedy so much. So we created a bunch of stupid videos with each other, coming up with dumb ideas and just turning on a camera without a script and just filming on the spot to see what would happen.
Alright guys, I think I got it this time. Beat this.
God damn it, Justy! Why did you just carry random Pokemon cards around?
Seriously. You guys said we were playing cards.
We did that for a while and then found out about the website Film Fights. It was a website made to pit people together and making films every week. There'd be some kind of rule like having a video be 30 seconds long, or it had to be an action film, it had to be noir, and exploitation, whatever it was, people would submit their movies and everyone would vote to see which one was superior. So when we found out about it, we got together and rebranded ourselves as ID Fun Films, standing for I Done Fucked Up Now Films. You know, because you can't be Muffins Are Sex. Obvious reasons. We created storyboards for our movies. Hell, we even put out ads for actors and actresses to star in our small projects. I was 17 and already getting my foot in the door on how to direct people who are way older than I was. It was insane to realize how much people respect you as a director, even though you're making a shitty film. The first video we ever submitted was a small flick called TP Toilet Paper. It was a 30-second film where a guy ran out of toilet paper, and that was literally it.
Oh my God.
Where's the toilet paper?
It's all out.
Hey baby, I have some lemonade.
I hate that damn neighbor.
Senor!
Just amazing. Amazing work. I graduated high school and went to college at Cal State San Marcos. The only good thing about going to college for filmmaking is that you're able to rent out anything you want, like lights and cameras. And I've always wanted to make a horror film, so I abused that shit. I rented out some high-key lights, got some actors and actresses, and made a small film called Darkness Creature. I always thought horror was one of the hardest genres to master, since you had to be able to control your audience's emotions throughout the entire movie. Not with jump scares, but with tension, suspense, and some comedy sprinkled in. A good horror film was a roller coaster that was always fun. Movies like The Evil Dead, Fright Night, Brain Dead, Dawn of the Dead, Jaws, the list goes on and on. Horror films are my jam, and after making that short film, I learned more than anything how hard it was to make a horror movie. And after that film was done, it was like a nail in the coffin, because that's when everything changed. My parents lost their house because of the recession, and I was left with nowhere to stay. I remember being at home alone and hearing a loud knock coming from the door. So I went downstairs, saw some police officers, opened it up, and they told me that the house was basically now foreclosed. And I had had no idea what to do. But they forced me to get out of the house, and I was the only one home at the time, so I had to call my mom and tell her what was happening. It was fucking rough. We were all forced to move out in less than a week, and my parents had to stay at a friend's house that didn't have enough room for me at all. So I had no idea what the fuck to do. Luckily, Beatrice's parents had just purchased their retirement house and used it as a place for B to stay at for school, so I was able to crash there. But all my stuff, like my clothes, camera, computer, movies, everything that I had were just stuffed into my small Toyota Corolla, and I could barely even get inside of the fucking car half the time. Even though it was terrible, those were probably the happiest moments of my life. Just me, B, and our dog Squirtle sitting in a room, going over to Blockbuster, finding a movie to watch, and playing Kingdom Hearts 2. If it wasn't for B supporting me through everything in my life, I wouldn't be anywhere near where I am today. So being homeless and having to stay at B's place, hoping her parents don't just come over for a surprise visit, I went job hunting until I found an ad on Craigslist for working in adult films. Yes, for those of you who don't know, I used to work in pornography. There's already a video about it, so you can look at it in the description. I took the job and just went with it, and it was probably the best decision I ever made. I was able to really hone my camera work on the videos by filming the most intricate shit I could possibly think of for an intro to the scenes. I was nominated as Best Videographer of the Year. I learned how to edit better. I learned how to film. I worked with some great cameras like the 5D Mark III, recording in RAW. It was everything I could possibly imagine, but it was so hard working there since I had to constantly work my ass off. I would be at the job for hours and hours filming and editing. There was even a time when I worked through Christmas Eve for 24 hours straight, and somehow, in some fucking way, I still found time to make videos on the side, and I even found some time to do stand-up comedy every once in a while. Fuck, I was even working on a documentary about stand-up. There was never a time when I gave up on my dream of making that full-length feature film. There were times when I would get off work, go home, and film something that entire night, or even edit without sleeping, then go back to work. It was a huge grind, but it was definitely worth every single second. I still kept up on making skits. I've created a few comedy skits with some friends, and even made a small side project of horror films called The Gore Shift, with the next movie I wanted to create being a short horror film that I would direct with a full cast and crew. And wouldn't you know it, Film Fights had a competition to create a horror film, and so I made a short called Liberius. It was my greatest achievement for a short film, and I even won the competition. Hell, I still wear the Film Fight shirt that I got as a congratulations for winning. Eventually, I just got tired of the workload and grew incredibly depressed to the point where I just decided to stop coming into work, and I left my job. I mean, in hindsight, it probably wasn't a good idea, but when you're sad, you do stupid shit. So my life went from being decent to hitting rock bottom. Again, I was back at square one. I had no money. I sold my camera to try and have some extra cash, so I didn't even have that. I had nowhere to stay. I had no job. I had absolutely nothing. To be honest, it was probably the worst time of my entire life. I mean, I was incredibly depressed to the point of even wanting to commit suicide, and the only thing that I could think of was to do something that I've done my entire life, and that was to make a video. Welcome to the League of Legends Actual Champion Spotlight.
Yeah.
Do you lava me?
Hey! I got one of those.
I just want to let you know that you're probably one of my favorite YouTubers, and I often find myself coming to your videos whenever I'm down.
Say hi.
So I just want to let you know that you're awesome, keep up the good work, and yeah.
Everyone sees Bricky from the front side, but no one ever sees him from the back side.
Later, nerd!
Look at your bill! Oh my god!
Welcome to the stage, MagikarpUsedFly.
This is so cool. Why are you guys like fucking awesome?
Hey! Anybody home? This your man. Hello? Can you hear me? Call us up. Okay. Bye, son. Love you.
How do you know that I want a uniform? I don't know, Matthew, the 50 times I want a yo-yo ball. Oh, sorry. I'm just sorry I asked.
Through all my trials and errors of making film after film after film, it's brought me my own style that I can constantly keep trying to hone over and over again. That's why I love making cinematics and montages in my spotlight videos, since they're the closest I can get to making films when my videos are about video games, even though every single one that I make gets fucking copyright striked. But regardless, here I am today, 26 years old and still making videos for my channel, trying my hardest to make them as entertaining as humanly possible. You know, eventually, yes, I would like to pursue my dream of creating a full-length feature film in the near future, and I can see that dream coming true. But for now, making the videos I make at the moment is still just as fun. You know, it's actually kind of funny how life works sometimes. You can just go about doing God knows what, and sometimes something good will just fall in your lap that you never even knew was possible. I've been working at this for years and years, and now that it's finally in my grasp, I'm never going to let it go. This is my dream. It's my passion. And I thank every single one of you for making any of this even fucking possible.